Hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. As always, I am your host Joel, and joining me as always is Matt.
Hello, everyone. How are you going, Joel?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I can't complain. I know people have heard me talk about it on the show before. I have a New York trip coming up in October.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I did. The New York trip in October might very well have become a Philadelphia trip this September. Well, it has become. Some of the trip is already paid for. But yes, I've been running around trying to get stuff in order, trying to get new con going shoes, trying to get American SIM cards, getting American insurance for when I travel over there, get my money changed. It's a whole thing.
Traveling is so much fun.
It sure is. It's fun when you get there.
Yeah. It's the long plane rides and shit beforehand that I
Yeah.
hate.
That's the other thing too. Like obviously I'm going with other people and for them it's just a national trip. But for me it's an international trip and there's always like 30 more things you got to go through. Like, oh great, now I got to go stand in customs too when I come in.
Yeah.
Which I have not been in American airline customs in a very long time. I can only imagine it's gotten super worse.
Yeah, you're gonna get that finger up the butthole.
hmm It's my own fault for being suspicious, really.
Yeah, you with that chin beard.
Yeah, oh geez, I'm sorry. Oh gee. Actually, in my last airport thing when I came back, and this was in my own country too, I actually did get pulled aside for extra screening, and I'm like, but there's only like three other people in line. Why me?
You look too suspicious, Joel.
You look like you got the drugs. I just need to pat your crotchal region. Like, I think you just wanted to pat my crotchal region, is all I'm
maybe
saying.
maybe he was a fan and he recognized you and he's like, oh, this is my chance. I
To
can
grab
quote
his
Joel.
crotch is the only way. Which it's funny too, is that, usually when I'm traveling, I'm pretty good where it's like, okay, don't bring any liquids, don't bring any of this, don't do anything that would stop you up. I was traveling with my two younger cousins to bring them back to their grandparents here. And of course, they brought a ton of liquid and a ton of other stuff that needed extra screening and a bunch of stuff to be looked at. And it's like, don't you kids travel more than me?
Yeah, but they're kids. They don't care.
That's true. They really don't. Meanwhile, me, I'm like, you know what's going to happen? You kids are going to sleep because you're tiny on the plane. Meanwhile, I'm like 8 foot whatever. I'm going to be freaking jammed in there. I'm not going to be able to sleep at all. It's not going to work for me. But what else is new with you, Matt? I noticed before we started, you were checking out the trailer there for True Detective Season 3. I know I was looking at that too.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
It does look really cool. It almost felt like the subtitle should have been True Detective Season 3. We promise it'll be more like Season 1 than Season 2.
It does. I liked season two. I like that they tried something different than season one. But yeah, I'm glad that it's gone back to kind of season one, and it seems to be like a period piece as well.
Yes. Yes, it does. We're like clearly seeing an old guy looking back on his memories, but he can't trust his memories.
Yeah,
Also, it's Cottonmouth from Luke Cage, so that's cool.
yeah.
Here's hoping he doesn't die like 4 episodes in. The actress who plays Mariah crosses shows and kills him 4 episodes into True
And then
Detective.
she becomes the old man reliving the past.
Oh, oh shit! What a twist! It's all connected. Man, as disappointing as season 2 was of True Detective, it did have an amazing gunfight, though.
It did, and it had a good cast as well.
It had a really good cast. All people you want to see, like, man, why aren't you in better things?
Yeah,
So true. But yes, everyone, believe it or not, we are actually a comic book podcast, and we actually do have some comic book news to discuss.
we do.
And perhaps the biggest piece of news is, of course, the one that we chose to be the thumbnail for this very episode, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy 3 canceled? Probably not, but it's definitely in some trouble right now.
It is the production crew, the pre-production crews have all been sort of dismissed and put on
Mhm.
hiatus or something.
Yeah, they were told to go home. They showed up ready to go, and reps from Disney are like, "You gotta leave. We don't have a director. We're not going to be able to move ahead with the movie. We fired our director and capitulated to some horrible people. Have you not been paying attention?"
Yeah, if only they had someone who knew these characters and has
Mhm.
worked with these actors before that they could hire.
Yeah, if only, if only. And you know what? Here's the thing. I don't see the movie regain or restarting production anytime soon either. I think Disney has
No.
really worked themselves into a corner. shot themselves in the foot, and it's like they can't make it look like they're actively looking for new directors because that could get them in more trouble from the fans who want to see Gunn back. And also, other directors can't be like, well, what about me? Because that seems really tacky, like you're
Yeah.
dancing on the man's grave and everything. And I'm sure many directors don't want to go out for it for just that reason. Because, again, too, this has also become a political statement for Disney as well, which I'm sure they didn't want. And I'm sure a lot of directors are like, well, if I take this job, will I be supporting the bad people? This makes it seem like I'd be supporting them if I took this gig.
Yeah, I think Disney. I think now they've kind of realized, like with them releasing that statement where they like basically doubled down and said no, Gunn isn't coming back. And the backlash they got from that, I think they've now sort of realized like, oh, maybe we did do something wrong. Maybe we did jump the gun.
No pun intended, but it's yeah, that statement, it definitely seems like, oh no, this is getting real. And Dave Bautista continues to verbally smack them on social media. It's kind of impressive where it's like, dude, you are just not afraid of losing your job at all.
Well, have you seen Dave Bautista? He's not afraid of anything.
No, he crushes cars between his thighs. He's gonna give Alan Horn the Batista bomb, brother. He's the animal. Which, it's, and again too, I'm sure Disney's afraid of that. They're like, oh no, but if Batista's saying this stuff about this, if we fire Batista, would the other guys quit because of it? Because they seem all really close knit and everything. Like, oh no, we're gonna have a full on actor revolt. Maybe we should just wait for this to calm down. Even though in waiting, this throws off the entire Marvel Universe machine that has been very well oiled and doesn't routinely miss stuff like this.
No, it's very strange. They do, at least they do have some time before Guardians 3 was meant to come out. So they got some leeway. It's not like they did this, like a month before it was meant to start shooting or something, or but yeah, it kind of makes me think that like maybe they've realized their mistake and they're just like, well, what do we do now? How do we fix this where we're still in the right, but everyone is happy?
Exactly. And I think the thing about that is they might just have to wait. They might just have to put this one on the back burner and just really hope against hope that the heat dies down, or, fucking rehire James Gunn, the thing that would make everyone happy, but you won't do that because you'll have to admit you were wrong.
Exactly.
And in fact, he might not want to come back. And in fact, it seems like he's already being courted by a bunch of other different studios. Like, isn't Sony releasing a horror movie he did now almost entirely out of spite to be like, no, we've got the new James Gunn project?
I think so.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that going on. Another thing I found out that the delay in Guardians 3 is actually going to affect, and I never even considered this, the Disney parks, Epcot, is actually supposed to be undergoing a major redesign to match with Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were supposed to have a bunch of new rides and attractions to come out to coincide with Guardians 3. Now Guardians 3 is behind schedule, and they've already pumped a bunch of money into the park.
Yeah. Oh fuck! What do we do? See, this is the thing. They did it too soon. They did it like literally hours after all this stuff about him came out, and yeah, they didn't sit down and consider all these ramifications of not hiring this guy or like firing him would do.
Yeah. And again, I looked into this even deeper. I'm like, okay, well, who is the actual person to blame here? Who is the actual one to point a finger to? Because it wasn't Phage, it wasn't Iger, it wasn't any of these other people. These were people who got brought in later to, give the ultimate decision. Apparently it was, I don't know if he's a producer or an executive producer or what his deal is, or an executive. Alan Horn is his name. Alan Horn is essentially the one who everyone is pointing fingers to now, and the one that is being more or less thrown under the bus even by Disney. Apparently it was his call.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's like the big boss. I think, sort of like where Ike Perlmutter was or something.
Right, and everyone's saying where it's like, well, is Disney gonna maybe punish him now for fucking up the way he did by not getting the full story? No, actually, but you know why they're not going to do that?
Yeah, why?
He's gonna be retiring in a couple months anyway. So literally,
yeah, they just have to sort of wait him out, maybe.
Yeah, so basically what this came down to is a bunch of cyber shitheads, a bunch of like white nationalists, whatever the fuck you want to call them, got mad at James Gunn because he dare offend President Fuck Muppet, and because of that dug up old tweets to get him fired, and because an old man executive saw them, and because old man executive Alan Horn didn't understand the internet. It's like, oh, this is bad. He's got to go then. And then now here's where we are all this time later to where now Guardians 3 is in an indefinite delay, an indefinite stoppage until who knows when.
I wonder if anyone pointed out to him that like these tweets were old, as well as he apologized for them, 5 years ago or something?
How old is Alan Horn? Let's look that up right now.
120 years old or something.
He's like, I don't understand the internet, the Twitter machine. Oh, he's 75. He's 75 years old.
Okay, yeah.
I don't understand the internet. 10 years ago, I don't remember what happened 5 minutes ago. Remember when movies were black and white? I do. Can we go back to that? Would people like a black and white silent Guardians? No, Alan, no. And again, too, he probably didn't care. He's probably like, oops, well, I'm retiring soon.
Oh, no, what a shame. I'll wipe my eyes with all this money.
Yeah, oops, I did bad, I guess. Guess you can't punish me because I'm not sticking around long enough to be punished. But no cake for you, Alan. We were all going to have cake, and now you don't get cake.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, when he does leave, what's stopping them from rehiring him?
I mean, you would hope nothing. Maybe that's their long game, where it's like, let's just wait for the guy who fired him to retire, and then maybe bring him back. I don't know if if Phage and Iger felt like they needed to be loyal to this guy. They, for it all to work, they needed to.
Yeah, well, maybe they didn't want to rock the boat too much, because like if he's willing to do this, like what else is he willing to do? Like he could have easily said, "Well, you can go with him, Kevin."
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know about this, and probably a lot we won't know until much later. But yeah, again, this is just the story that continues to give and continues to evolve and continues to change.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? On some happier Marvel news, we can then go over to some comic book news. It was announced this week the original Defenders team lineup will be returning in a brand new, I think like 5 to 6 part miniseries called The Best Defense.
Sounds pretty cool. I really like the push they've been doing with the Defenders lately.
Yeah, of course, the original Defenders, for those of you who don't remember, are not the ones connected to the show, and not even the ones connected to the Bendis book that was written a while ago. We're talking the OG Defenders, who are like Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, the Hulk, Namor.
Yeah. Really exciting. That's really cool that we've gotten all these like different iterations of the Defenders coming out like within the space of a couple of months of each other.
It's true. You got to wonder, too, where it's like, why are they dusting off the Defenders property right now? Is this another middle finger to Brian Michael Bendis now that he's gone? It's like, your Defenders don't matter. They didn't happen. These are the real Defenders. Or is this them saying to themselves, hey, we got Fantastic Four back. We could possibly try and do something with Namor. Maybe once the Avengers have run their course, do we want to do a Defenders movie? Maybe.
That's definitely a possibility.
I respect this, too, for being a miniseries. Marvel's being really good about that recently, where it's like, maybe let's not rush into a full series order yet. Let's just do a mini, see if people really like it. If there's a demand for it, then we'll do it.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely cool for that, especially because it's Hulk on a team, because Hulk isn't on a team currently.
Yeah, that would be... Yeah, well, Hulk's in, like, a weird place where, like, his ongoing is, like, kind of disconnected from everything.
Yeah.
But
he's trying to run away.
It'll be good to see him come back and interact with everyone.
Hulk will also apparently be on Loki's Cosmic Avengers, which is gonna be something for Infinity later on.
Yeah, that team was like so out of left field. Like the composition of that team.
Loki, Hulk, Emma Frost, Miss Marvel. Okay, nice to see she's an event.
Yeah, didn't I have Kang as well?
Yes, and Kang was on it too, and also Kang.
A Kang, because we have one on Exiles as well.
That's true. We also have the Kang running around in this event who is dressed up like Iron Lad, but they're referring him as Kang, but not Iron Lad.
That was really confusing, because I was like, oh, is this the Iron Lad from Exiles, or is this Kang, or is this... What's going on? Which Kang is this?
I just like to think he opened his closet and that's what he's got. Well, I could be a pharaoh today. I could be Kang the Conglomerator, or I could be Iron Lad. I'll be Iron Lad. That'll be fun. Speaking of other fun and interesting things coming from Marvel right now, it was announced this week, kind of out of the blue. I forgot that they had teased this, but Marvel got the rights to Conan the Barbarian back, and they're going to start printing Conan the Barbarian books again. And the writer is kind of the perfect writer. It's going to be Jason Aaron and Mahmoud Azir are going to be doing the art for this one.
So the book's going to look amazing, and it's going to be written amazingly. It's a perfect writer for it as well.
Yes, and in fact, you could tell this is a passion project for Aaron. He's like, I don't know if you could tell from all my other sword and sorcery fantasy work, but I really like Conan the Barbarian. And then he showed like his stack of Conan books and comics. I really like Conan, everybody. I'm gonna write good Conan stories, I promise.
Since they've announced this, I'm probably definitely going to be reading it now.
I'll check it out. I mean, Conan is such like, arch fantasy. And, like so many things you love have been inspired by Conan the Barbarian, either the original stories or the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Jason Momoa movie.
No one even knows that's the thing, Matt. That never happened. And now he's Aquaman. What a weird career trajectory he had, right? I'm the king of the Dothraki. I'm a barbarian. I'm the king of Atlantis. And other stuff in between, but mostly those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely cool. And also, they seek to be implying, Conan's totally in the Marvel universe now.
Yeah. That's what really interested me. That like they've kind of like shifted his history and everything into it. It's going to be interesting how they build on that, especially with what I wonder if that might be like tied in with like his like Avengers stuff or something somehow.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure that'll be a crossover at some point because
so
Conan
awesome.
loves crossovers. And also, here's the thing, too. Conan was in Marvel continuity before. Once upon a time, there's actually some characters who are still running around who have had interactions with Conan. And it'll be interesting if those get mentioned again. It's like, oh, yeah, Conan, I remember that guy.
I'd love to see Conan interact with that, with Odin's Avengers team.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. Again, because Aaron's writing both. That's probably going to happen at some point.
Yeah.
For say I, Avengers, we have come to Hyperia. How did this happen? It did. Don't think about it. Just enjoy it. But yeah, that sounds really fun. Good for Aaron. This almost feels like Aaron's reward for doing so good at Marvel for the last little bit, where it's like, look, Jason, we used some of our money and bought the rights to Conan back.
Yeah, just for you.
Just for you, buddy. You keep doing you. So yeah, that's some fun news there. From the world of comics to the world of TV, the CW shows are going to be starting back up again very soon, and they already cast the first brand new villain for the Flash show. He's going to be fighting Ragdoll, one of my favorite comedy relief characters from Secret Six. And, of course, if you know Ragdoll from the comics, he's a creepy, fucked up contortionist, and they cast a real contortionist for the role.
Yeah, they cast like an America's Got Talent contestant or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how being a contortionist will be able to fight a super fast man, but they'll find a way.
He can contort around.
The Flash, I guess. Yeah, try and run when I'm like all up in and under your crotch and around your neck and stuff.
Did we end up talking about the new Flash costume?
No, I don't think we did. I know a lot of people gave Grant Gustin shit about it on Instagram, saying he looked fat and that really hurt his feelings.
See, I kind of think the opposite. I don't think he really has the pronounced jawline to work with that sort of the mask, the comic mask that they're trying to do with where he doesn't have the chin strap.
Yeah, I like that they're trying to go more comic accurate. I agree that this many seasons in, it was time to upgrade the suit. No, it doesn't look great, but yeah, those people were assholes for talking shit about Grant Gustin.
And to be fair, it was like a photo that was like taken without his knowledge or something, like in like a costume fitting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, I didn't have time to suck in. It was a cheat meal day. Fuck off. You know how hard it is to keep up this physique? Really hard. I just wanted a donut that day, assholes. Have you seen craft services? It's rows and rows of amazing food for Teamsters that I never get to eat. I walk by and I smell it so often, but that's about it. Then I got that Amel jerk over there. He's just made of abs. Fuck that guy. But that's actually not all the CW news we have, Matt. We actually got some confirmation about some stuff for the next big CW crossover. It's going to be called Batwoman Begins, so she is going to be the focal point of this event, which we basically already gleamed because we knew she was going to be in it. I didn't think she'd be the focal point of it, but there you go. The other big important thing is that, yes, the CW Superman will be in it, but more importantly than that, we will be seeing the debut of the CW Universe Lois Lane as well.
About damn time. I'm surprised we haven't had it sooner.
Yeah, I like that they know this is a big deal where it's like, hey, and we're going to show you Lois. Thank you.
It's about time. It's about time. And I'm glad the Superman's coming back. And as well, he's got scenes with Flash and Green Arrow. So he's actually involved in the actual crossover.
So now it actually just basically is a full-on Justice League now.
Basically, you know, fuck the movies. This is where it's at.
This is the real Justice League. You tried movies, but CW beat you to it. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't put it past them if like somehow like this gets really good ratings, and I think it will, considering the content and everything on it. That like they might pitch like as well as like the Batwoman show, maybe Superman coming back in a bit more, and I'm wondering as well, maybe this has something to do with that Metropolis thing they were building up.
Right.
Since they're introducing Lois Lane, I know they were like rejiggering that since the original premise didn't work, so maybe this
was that like even a CW show, or was that an app show?
They're all done by Greg Berlanti's production company.
Right. I'm losing track of all these DC shows now with all these different continuities. Some are on CW, some are on Fox, some are on the app. Are they in continuity? Well, the CW ones are. And then whatever show fails on the other networks will bring in, like Constantine wasn't in continuity, but now Constantine is in continuity. And Supergirl wasn't in continuity, but now she is. Hey, it's almost as confusing as real comics.
It is.
We finally reached that point, Matt. Superhero television is almost as much of a headache as reading the comics.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Man, at what point, and follow me on this, at what point, how long do the CW shows need to run where they eventually go, hey guys, our big crossover this year is Crisis on Infinite Universes. We are literally going to Crisis this shit now.
I wouldn't put it past them. Remember, they still have to build up to that thing that keeps getting teased in the Flash. You know, the Flash disappears in a crisis, or are they considering that Flashpoint thing that?
Maybe they were, but they could always move the goal line to be like, no, that was a fake one. The real Crisis is still coming.
Because I can't remember if that was ever referenced after that. Because I know Iris wrote that paper, but then she didn't.
That's right.
She didn't have a job for some reason.
Wouldn't it be some shit if it's like season 7 of Flash or like season 6 and they're like, okay, big crossover. Anti-Monitor is going to be the villain now.
Yes, please.
And we're just going to straight up do an adaptation of Crisis on Infinite Earths with all these other characters. And Barry will die and Wally will become the new Flash, but maybe not TV Wally because he can't seem to make up his mind about what show he wants to be on.
Yeah, so we'll get like another person to play Wally. But it'll be the Rebirth Wally.
We'll do the comics thing. We'll actually have, this is your other cousin named Wallace, who is a redhead from another city. You didn't know you had another cousin, but you have another cousin. Now, I know they can do Bart Allen. Bart Allen can come back in time, and they'll just tweak it a little bit, and so Bart will be the new Flash.
There you go.
And then you start off with like a new Flash on a different side of the city with a whole new cast and maybe some returning ones. And there you go. And that's your Crisis Flash.
There you go. Feel free to use that, CW.
Hey, we called Dominators. We called all this other shit that ended up happening. So why not? Why can't this happen in a couple seasons? Look, if in a couple seasons this happens, they owe Matt and me money. You know, then you could reboot Legends with a brand new team of actors and a brand new team of characters and treat it as a number one. I don't know what you would do for Green Arrow because he was the first one. I don't know. Maybe like do it right this time.
Yeah. There was another Green Arrow on the island, and it was the proper one. He's still on the island.
Yes, we just slightly retell his story, but now it's actually like the comics and not trying so hard to be Batman Begins for the first few seasons. And I know it feels weird to talk shit about Arrow all this time later, because it actually did help give birth to these other shows that we do like. And yes, he does fill the Batman role. And yes, we get this, that, and the other. And Stephen Amell's a nice guy in real life. And da-da-da-da-da. But it's not my Green Arrow, damn it.
Well, and now with Batwoman, there should be a Batman on TV. So, like, he should just go fill the Green Arrow role like he should be doing.
I know, right? Or, I don't know, or, like, take him out and put someone else in his place. Like, I don't know, like, fucking Blue Beetle is the new thing now. But, like, the Ted Kord version.
Yeah. Isn't Ted Kord, though, dead in, like, the
yeah,
Flash
that's right.
CW universe or something?
That's okay. We're crisising it. He can come back to life now. We can bring back everyone. It's fine. It's a crisis. We can do whatever. Which, again, once TV writers get to that point where it's like, wait, we can do whatever. We can basically just start from scratch. Yes. And people will accept it. Well, comic fans will accept it. I don't know about TV fans, but comic fans have been accepting it every 5 to 8 years for like the last 75 years. Wait, and that means we can basically retell old stories in new ways and people will buy them and treat them like they're new? Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And people will be excited when we bring back things they remember and are familiar with? Yes. And people will continue to argue about which one was better? Yes. And that in and of itself will form whole cottage industries? Yes. Now you're thinking with comics. And hey, speaking of thinking with comics and things that people argue about, did you hear Joaquin Phoenix finally opened up about one of the 3 Joker movies that are happening?
I know, it sounds like he's going to go full Joker, like, Jared Leto and everyone did.
He's already come out and said that he doesn't care what you think about him as the Joker. Well, that's a great place to start, Joaquin.
Oh, definitely. Just, piss all over the people that are actually going to go see this movie. And yeah, and then again, I wonder if we're going to get all those stories like we did with Suicide Squad, where, they needed an on-set therapist because it was too gritty and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, the thing about Joaquin Phoenix is I believe that because he pretended to be a rapper for a year and quit Hollywood. I already know he's crazy.
Yeah, but remember how that turned out?
Yeah, I mean, I do believe he's crazy. Like that, what was it, like that Letterman interview is more terrifying than anything Jared Leto ever did. Joaquin Phoenix is way more fucking method of an actor. I'll make you believe it. Man, did you hear Joaquin Phoenix? He was just biting the heads off chickens randomly for no reason.
I don't know where the chickens came from.
I think he brought them from home. Do we need to get PETA involved with that, or is that like, is that protected as some sort of like art act? Oh, and then he started rapping about it. It was really weird, and we kept telling him the Joker doesn't have a beard, but he was gonna keep the beard.
Yeah, he colored it green.
We tried to stop him, but he overpowered us. He's actually quite strong, Joaquin Phoenix. He also demanded to not wear pants for many of the takes, which, we kind of had a problem with. But again, he's method, man.
Yeah, we had to CGI on the pants.
We got the same guy who did the mustache tech. We promise he got much better in between movies. Just why do his legs look so weird? Yeah, because they had to CG on pants. Why? Because for another role, he didn't have to wear pants. God, man, these 3 Joker movies, why do I feel they're going to be fantastic train wrecks?
Because they're just, like, there's no thought behind them other than it's the Joker. He'll make us money.
This is a marketable character. When Heath Ledger did it, that was all people talked about. Yeah, but it was also in a pretty good movie, too. And people forget Ledger's actually in very little of The Dark Knight. He's like the shark in Jaws. He's in it just as much as he needs to be.
Exactly. The movie wasn't about him. It would just happen to have him in it.
But once again, much like Fight Club, people walked away with all the wrong messages from the movie.
Yeah, and again, like, with these movies, they all seem to be, like, origin films or something. Joker doesn't need an origin. That's the reason why he's so interesting, is because he never has one specific one. They're like, he was a comedian, or he was a bank robber, or What was he? You don't know.
Yeah, his whole character exists to buck the trend of origin stories for characters, but let's give him 3 different ones.
Yeah. We'll see which one does well and then make that a franchise. He can go fight
Sure.
Superman.
Sure, why not? Yeah, then we'll have Joker v Superman. Sure, why not? Also, I think you mean Supergirl because the Man of Steel franchise is officially dead now. We know that.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like, oh, that Supergirl on TV's doing well. We'll make a Supergirl cinematic universe because that'll work.
Sure.
Her entire history isn't just, based solely around Superman and the Superman family. We can do it without that.
That's fine. I mean, we couldn't do it with Superman, so surely we can do it without. I mean, that'll be easy, right? Man, it's going to be really weird when next year when Shazam and Aquaman are the most popular DC characters in the universe. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh, jeez.
A universe led by Aquaman and Shazam. What bold, interesting times we live in.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about that.
I know that these are going to be the DC ones that there's a good chance people are going to like.
Yeah, especially with Shazam, where it's like, we'll just make it like Superman. And it's like, well, you're bad at Superman. Why not just make Superman like Superman?
Yeah, that's what blows me away. What if we make it like Superman? Guys, you have a Superman. You don't need to make it
You own
like...
the rights to Superman.
Nah, people will never buy a Superman that's like Superman. We have to make Superman movies that are everything but Superman. They'd expect that, you see, Matt. Gotta work around expectations. You just can't give people what they want. What are we, Iron Man? Can't make a movie about a man in an iron suit dealing with issues. We certainly can't make 3 of them.
Yeah, and if we made another Superman film, then what would Zack Snyder talk about on Vero? He'd have nothing to talk about.
That's right. His Twitter thing that's not quite Twitter because he refuses to come on regular Twitter.
Yeah.
Just another weird idiosyncrasy of the fellow where it's like, really, man, you don't believe in real Twitter? Okay.
No, I believe in Ayn Rand Twitter.
I believe in Ayn Rand too. That's my thing too. I'm like, well, if he's on it, is there like a Randian undercurrent to it I need to know about? Because I know they were handing out like free Vero accounts a while ago, and I'm like, do I need to get one? Because like everyone seems really into it, but I feel like in a week everyone's just gonna come back to Twitter.
Yeah, well, I don't hear about it other than him. He's like the only one who uses it, by the sounds of it.
Which makes me think, is he a celebrity endorsement? Has he worked out a deal with them if he keeps mentioning it?
Probably.
Yeah. Now, that being said, if Vero is out there and would like to sponsor the comic multiverse, we will be the official comic book podcast of Vero if you'll let us. Only on Vero. But, of course, knowing me, Matt, and how long it takes me to pick up, like, a new system and pick up, like, a new social media outlet, if it's anything like iTunes, it'll take us 2 years, but we'll get on Vero. Also, thank you, everyone who's been listening to the show on iTunes and leaving, reviews and star ratings. The Comic Multiverse is actually searchable now on iTunes because of that.
Ooh, yay.
We've finally joined everyone else, Matt. What other worlds are there to conquer after iTunes?
I don't know.
Stitcher, iHeartRadio, which are basically just like SoundCloud anyway.
Yeah, what are some of like MySpace?
Oh, yeah. We'll build a time machine and go back and conquer MySpace.
Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Man, Matt, if we could take the show as it is now, our 100-plus episodes, go back to a time when podcasting wasn't as big and have the Comic Multiverse be the original comic book podcast of the internet.
Everyone would be mad because we'd be talking about things that won't happen for at least another 15 years. Like, what the fuck are they doing? No Guardians of the Galaxy. Who the fuck are they?
Yeah, you're right.
Superman
that would be the
on TV, yeah, right.
That's the problem with having our show be so news focused, is it right, Matt? These are our old episodes. How do you go back and enjoy them when it's so linked to the past?
Yeah. When the fuck did an Ant-Man movie come out? Why are they doing a review on it?
Just to confuse the shit out of people, it would be like, at least with like the sports almanac with Back to the Future, like that's understandable and easy. We go back with content from the future just to blow people's minds. And in doing so, we create a butterfly effect, so those things never happen, and then the podcast, stops existing.
We fade into dust.
Oh no, I don't feel so good. Shh. and then we died. Aw. Some more news here we got going on. Hans Zimmer has decided to come out of self-imposed superhero film retirement to score Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, I already know what the score is going to be like. I'll just load up the Dark Knight score and the Batman vs Superman score. That's exactly what it'll sound like. I guarantee you.
Bong. Even though it's in the 80s, though.
Oh, the drums will have a slight synth sort of vibe to it. That's it. That's all it'll be. I guarantee it.
Hans, you've done it again. I love this idea too. They're like, he comes out of retirement like he's the old gunslinger drinking whiskey in a bar with his hat down. No, I don't do that anymore. I don't score those superhero movies, never again. Glug glug glug. But we need you, huh?
Yeah, we fired Junkie XL.
Yeah, because his name was Junkie XL. To which Hans is like, don't make me do it. Don't you bring that evil out of me. And then he goes out at night in the rain. And he digs up a box and it's filled with all of his instruments and software.
Yeah, he's got it buried near the train tracks.
Yeah, really. And then he just screams up to the sky. And then he just goes back home and he loads up a disc and it's like, okay, here's all my unused Batman v Superman and other stuff. Okay, click. There you go. This is the soundtrack.
Yeah, just put a noise reduction on it and we're good.
Money, please.
Wow, Hans, you did it so quickly.
I'm the best. What can I say? I'm really, really good. I like to imagine Danny Elfman does that every time there's a new Tim Burton movie where it's like, what do I do? Oh, here, I got all these unused files. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished. And again, Burton's like, I love it, Danny. It's your best work yet. Yep, I agree. Is Danny Elfman scoring that new Tim Burton Dumbo movie that's coming out? I feel like he must.
Probably.
Also, why is Tim Burton making a live-action Dumbo movie?
Because people still think Tim Burton movies make money.
Disney has gone mad with these live-action remakes, haven't they?
Yeah. Some are good, some are pretty bad, though.
I liked the Jungle Book one. That one was pretty solid.
Beauty and the Beast was pretty good.
Yeah, that one had some pretty fun moments in it. There's some cool special effects, even if they tweak the story to kind of make it feel like where it's like, well, let's explain all these things that never needed explaining.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? I feel like there's a third one I'm missing. I guess Maleficent, technically, but they were doing that for this.
Yeah.
And Maleficent is more of a reimagining than it is like a straight-up adaptation.
Yeah.
The Mulan one looks cool. I always liked Mulan. I always thought Mulan was kind of underrated.
Yeah, that new Mulan looks actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think the problem with Mulan and the reason why people always rank it lower is that it really only maybe has like one or two great songs where like Beauty and the Beast and The Lion King, every song is like a AAA kick your ass song.
Yeah. Also, I just looked up that new Dumbo movie. Guess who's doing the music?
Is it Mr. Elfman?
Yep.
How did we know? We are the Nostradamuses of comics. We did it again, Matt. Nostra Comics over here. We figured it out. And I guess our final story here that will take us perfectly into what we read this week. Batman and the Outsiders announced as a brand new spin-off, also written by Brian Edward Hill, spinning out of the pages of this last Detective Comics run that ended this week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fine. I did not like this new arc.
It didn't probably need as much like follow-on as it did, but yeah, I'll talk about that, like the newest issue when we do talk about it. But yeah.
Well, let's hop right on into it because that's it for news this week.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So Detective Comics, what was it? Issue 987?
Yes, that was the one.
Yeah, so the end of this Outsiders arc that probably should have ended 2 issues ago, maybe.
This very easily could have been 3. They were definitely stretching this one way longer than it needed to be stretched.
Yeah, which makes me think the next story arc was kind of delayed or something, or maybe like when they were bringing over Tomasi or something.
Stall for time.
Yeah, because Katana's involvement was not needed. She didn't do
No.
anything.
No, she didn't.
When it was implied that you'd find Batman learning something from her, but she's like, "Oh, just do what you did just before." That worked.
Yeah. Oh no, wait, she does one very specific thing, Matt. In the last issue, they're like, oh, you need Katana, you need a true master who will help you defeat Karma, Batman. What's Katana's great samurai insight? If he's reading your mind, just think bad thoughts and that'll fuck him up. And Batman's like, cool, I'll do that. Oh shit, it worked.
Yeah, cool, I'll do what I did the last issue that it seemed to work, and I figured that out without you because I'm a detective.
Yeah, that's amazing too. It's like, oh, how am I ever going to defeat Karma, this horrible foe? Dude, you defeated him last issue. You just didn't follow up on it.
Yeah, you didn't follow up. You made him leave the building. You could have ended it right there. But no, we needed this extra issue where he kidnaps one person at Wayne Manor, at Wayne Enterprises.
Yeah. From I'm going to kill all these children unless you kill your sidekicks to I'm going to kidnap this one man until you something.
Yeah, also, because you know this one man and he has a wife and he seems very integral, even though he's not.
Also, I love Karma revealed to be a giant hypocrite. Your sidekicks make you weak. Real heroes and real men don't accept help. Yes, I hired this mercenary army to help me take over this building. I'm a giant hypocrite.
They can kill the sidekicks. That's all good.
But Batman is mine because I want revenge on him, but I love Batman. I'm like, wow, they really lost the thread with this character. It gets even crazier because Batman and his team are totally over Karma because they're already busy trying to set up the villain for this spin-off book. Yeah. Where they're like, oh, this lady, she's a Markovian arms dealer. Oh, alien tech and all this other stuff. Oh, she's real bad. Unfortunately, I don't have time to stop her. But, you know, Black Lightning, you and them could go stop her if you wanted.
That's what That was like the weird thing, like at the start of this issue where they're having like that briefing in the Batcave. I'm like, there's a villain out there running around who knows who Batman is and is trying to kill it. Why are you in here talking about this other woman with a laser eye? Like, go fucking catch him first.
Yep, because we got to set up this other book. Oh, you know what else is wonderfully dumb? I got into this in the comment section a lot. This might have been an art mistake or this might have just been a massive fuck up. I'll let you decide, Matt. Seemingly Jefferson says, hey, Katana, is it true your husband's soul is in your sword? Even though they implied the Outsiders was already a team, so Black Lightning should know her and should know that that's a thing.
Wonder if they may be going to say, like, oh, it was someone else as Katana or something.
Maybe something dumb like that. Some people said, oh, I think that's Duke asking the question. Maybe the artist just doesn't know how to draw black people, which is really insulting considering a black man is writing the book. But no, it was clearly Jefferson because his shirt was blue and Duke's shirt was yellow.
Yeah, I don't know. I like that they did include the signal. It's like, hey, remember me?
Yeah, remember I have a power? And also, too, I like that the whole trajectory of this story was supposed to be, okay, villain comes in, questions Batman's use of sidekicks. Batman pushes them away to try and protect them. Surely he will bring them close to himself at the end of the comic, and that will be the moral of the story. No.
That is what I was saying. I did like that he sort of learnt that he needed them, but like he's learnt that before. But as well, like I was expecting like at the end of last issue how they stopped that bomb. It was like the sort of a teamwork sort of thing. Yes. And I thought like at the end of this they're all going to go after Karma and it's going to be really cool. You're going to get cool splash pages and stuff. But that didn't happen.
Yeah. Also, did he learn the importance of teamwork? Because he tells them they can't go on this mission despite the fact that they've been on every mission up until this point and have saved his life numerous times. And then at the end, he doesn't apologize to Barbara for running her off. He doesn't apologize to any of the sidekicks for treating them bad. And then he pawns off Duke and Orphan, the two sidekicks without a book, to Black Lightning.
Well, you see, they went to Tom King for some pointers, and he's like, fuck him.
Clearly. Yeah, fuck them, clearly. Also, too, I feel really vindicated. I remember in the first issue of this story, someone got really mad at me in the comment section for talking shit about the other members of the Outsiders, Geoforce and Halo. Apparently, DC thinks they're shitty, too, because they're not even going to be on the new team. It's going to be Orphan and Signal taking their place.
Oh, fucking Signal. God damn it. Yeah, stop trying to make him a thing. He's lame.
I think he had every chance in the world.
Exactly.
It's just He had every chance in the world. It's just for some reason he just can't seem to catch fire. I want to like Duke. I like Duke a lot of the time, but it
I
just
like
seems
Duke
like
as Duke, not Duke as Signal.
not Duke as Signal. That would be interesting if they just had Duke hang out just as like a guy.
Yeah, because like he doesn't seem like overly like good at what he does. I mean, he was like the first sort of quote unquote casualty of karma, and it was like a
Yeah.
really simple thing that he probably that like someone more experienced would have pointed out. Like Nightwing
Yeah.
wouldn't have gotten caught off guard or anything. But yeah,
I think the problem with Duke is that they're trying to make him a Robin in a non-Robin age.
yeah, just like
Is
a
the
partner
issue?
for Batman, but it's not
Yeah.
Robin.
Yeah, which they've tried before with other characters, and I think it shows that it really doesn't work, and like maybe we're at a cap for Robbins, and I can understand him being like, no, I'm your equal, I'm your partner, I'm not your ward, I'm this, that, and the other thing. But again, they never follow up on it.
Yeah, and as well, they never really show why he's supposed to be his equal and everything. They just sort of imply it, and then it probably didn't help as well that Scott Snyder built him up in like the early issues of like Metal and the Forge and the casting is like an integral part where really he wasn't. He like faded away after like those two like
Yep.
primer issues.
Which makes me think too that even Scott Snyder, his creator, doesn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny too because that's the second new sidekick character he tried to create. It's like, hey, didn't you and Tynan also create Harper Row? Yes.
What happened to her? Shut up.
Tynan remembers her. Tynan remembers to put her in the background of stuff, which I'm cool with. I liked her too, but again, just I'm clearly not everybody else. But yeah, that was Detective Comics. I thought the whole thing was super lame from start to finish. I'm so glad. What is it? Who's coming on next after this? James Robinson?
I believe so, yeah.
James Robinson's arc can't start soon enough. Apparently, it's going to be focused on Two-Face and D-list villains, and you know I like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we need a good Batman story. It's been so long. Like, it's been a hard ride where both Detective and Batman have kind of been shitting the bed at the same time.
Well, at least you can say for the Detective it's not shitting the bed as much as the main Batman book is, whereas that just like forgets things and forgets fundamental parts of Batman just for the sake of Tom King going, I don't care. Batman sucks.
And then you'll be enjoying it, and then he'll undercut everything.
yeah. Whereas at least like these stories, like The Outsiders had like a beginning, middle, and end. Sure, it could have gone a lot like quicker, like maybe 2 or 3 issues, and not what was it, 4 or 5 issues?
I think it was 5 by the end.
Yeah, it could have done that, but yeah, at least it's a bit better than Batman in that regards.
It was also annoying too because we had a much better idea for this story in our head, where Karma was revealed to be the internet YouTuber guy.
Seriously, that's what it would look like. I wonder if they that was like a thing, and maybe they changed it.
Maybe because it seems so obvious.
Yeah.
That that's where they were going with it. And again, I wanted it to be the YouTuber guy because he was clearly just an amalgamation of everyone I know and work with online.
Well, yeah. See, I have to think it's that because this whole Makovia story just came out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
Like somehow Batman just remembers this guy he fought years ago. It's like, oh, it could be that guy. I don't know why it would be that guy, but it could be that guy.
I think it's that guy. Which again, Makovia, the place where Geoforce is king/prince of, another founding member of the Outsiders. It also made me think like he was going to be in the story. No, we'll mention his country several times and he'll never show up.
Yeah.
Hell,
it would have been cool if Karma was Geoforce.
Oh, that would have been cool too. And he's like, I'm sick of everyone making fun of me. I'm sick of everyone telling me I'm the worst outsider.
Yeah, and that's what brings the Outsiders together, because one of their old teammates goes rogue.
That would have been fine. In fact, like, it's clear Hill knows a thing or two about original Outsiders because Laser Eye Lady talks to a dude named Roderick. Roderick was a villain from the original Outsiders run. He was a vampire.
Yeah.
So clearly he knows his shit. It's just like, I don't know, just this whole thing. I didn't like it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, then let's talk about Action Comics then.
This was better.
This was actually really good. This is Brian Michael Bendis' Element.
Yes, this is very much Bendis writing in his element. It's crime, it's corruption, it's the city beat, It's all these things he really seems to enjoy. It's him actually tinkering around with some fairly interesting ideas. The main one being, how do traditional criminals operate in Metropolis with a demigod hanging over their head? And the answer is they have to get creative.
And they do get creative by, it says, setting fires around the place and drawing Superman away while they go, smuggle their drugs and illegal immigrants over here.
Yeah, which really, really pisses Superman off to know that they burnt down those buildings because of him.
Yeah, just for nothing, basically.
Yeah, like a lot of times when writers write Superman having an emotional outburst, it always feels forced and kind of wrong. Here, I actually believed it. I'm like, yeah, he would get mad at that.
He got played, and he's now realized it because it was something so simple, and he didn't think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I like that Brian brought back the original Guardian, Jim Harper.
Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't see that coming. It's nice that Bendis remembers, hey, there's other superheroes running around Metropolis than just Superman.
Yeah, which is interesting because the last time we saw Jim Harper, he died.
Yeah, but Bendis doesn't know that.
It's going to be interesting to see if this is like Jim Harper or Jim Harper's clone, which
That's
is running around for a while. I'm glad, though, it's not the New 52 version, which was like this weird thing that was like sent after that weird Superboy they had.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His name was Michael, quote unquote, and he was like basically a robot.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah, that was kind of lame.
Yeah, I like that he came back, and yeah, he's fighting the street crime. I'd love to see him and Superman team up.
I think that's where they're going with this, and I like this idea too of Guardian being like, yeah, Superman, when you're stopping meteors and saving the world from alien invasions and everything, I'm the guy fighting drug dealers and bank robbers and everything in Metropolis that you kind of can't be bothered to half the time.
Yeah, the quote unquote lowly criminals, which for all intents and purposes are worse than like meteors and everything.
Arguably because they traffic in death and destruction, which again, that would be funny too for Superman to be like, oh, you've been operating in the city the whole time under my nose and I didn't know.
Well, I have to think he does know the Guardian is around.
Yeah, you would think so. It's like, man, you'd be really bad at your job if you didn't know that.
Yeah, Bendis actually does like a really good job of like bringing like the people around like Superman back. He brought him back. He brought Maggie Sawyer back. I think Dan Turpin was in one scene.
Yes, he was.
We got Cat Grant coming back, which was really cool.
That was fun. I wasn't expecting to see her come back. She has a really fun scene here.
Yeah, which she spoils that Lois is back.
Uh-oh, and that she's also writing a tell-all book, probably about you, Superman.
Uh-oh.
I love, too, Lois trying to be incognito with, like, a blonde wig and everything.
Yeah, and her husband still finds it.
Yeah, hey, Lois, we need to talk. Also, where's my son?
That next issue is going to be really good. I can't wait to see what happens. Like, how did Lois get back to Earth? What's going on?
Why are you hiding from me? What's with the wig? Also, I noticed you got in and out and you didn't get any for me, so that's a real problem for Superman.
That makes him more angry than being played by criminals.
Yeah, that makes me even more angry. This whole issue basically broke down to how bad a day can Superman have?
And it was done really well. It wasn't done like, oh, Superman's depressed because his wife and son are gone. It's like there's legitimate reasons why Superman is angry or upset.
The universe is just repeatedly kicking him in the balls in this issue, because it even starts early on when Perry's like, hey, I don't trust this new Robinson good lady. That article was really, kind of biased towards Superman. Follow her and double check her story. For Clark to be like, oh, well, that sounds really unethical and everything. I wouldn't do that, only for Perry to say, no, it's fine. I had Lois shadowing you and double checking every story you've ever wrote.
Yeah, he's like, oh, geez.
Really? And you never told me this? Fuck. And then from that to finding out that they've been burning down buildings because of him, and then finding out that his wife has been hiding from him and writing a tell-all book, and it's just like, wow, bad day for Superman.
And it's probably going to get much worse. Because doesn't Robinson want kryptonite as well?
Yes, for some reason, which would seek to imply that she believes that Superman is at the Daily Planet somewhere.
Yeah, and I know he keeps like sort of implying that maybe like Robinson is the Red Cloud, but I reckon it's probably going to be that Fire Chief Because we haven't seen her in a couple of issues.
No, we haven't. That's fun. Yeah, see, I never thought of that Robinson Good would actually be the Red Cloud. That's very interesting, Matt. I never thought of that at all.
See, they're playing up like she's a villain and like within that. So I think like, oh, maybe they'll do the old switcheroo and it'll be the redhead.
Right. Which is a very Bendis thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
To be like, hey, you kind of had a crush on this woman. Guess what? She's a villain. She's actually Red Cloud.
Yeah.
Who they're doing a good job actually building the threat and menace of Red Cloud, where it's like, yeah, I'm a cloud. You can't punch me. You can't laser vision me. I'll crawl inside your lungs and kill you that way.
Yeah, how are you going to defeat a cloud?
Yeah. How can you fight something that literally slips through your fingers like smoke?
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll call my friend Batman. He'll help.
He'll get the vacuum.
Yeah, it's really. Oh, here I got the special bat vacuum, the bat dust buster. Can you use that? I sure can. Or a really strong bat fan to blow you away. But yeah, that was fun. It's nice to see that there's actually a Bendis Superman book out there that I'm liking, and I feel that is kind of hitting its stride.
Again, I think like they should just take him off normal Superman, just keep him on this one, and just give normal Superman to someone else.
It's funny that in his Superman book, Earth has been swallowed up by the Phantom Zone. There's this killer Rogol Zar running around, and yet I was more invested in and stronger felt the drama in Superman having a bad day in this issue than I did in any of that other stuff.
Because it's more personal. It's more like grounded and personal, and it's like, oh, we have bad days, and Superman can have a bad day as well. We can't, we can't experience our planet folding into a prison zone or fighting warlords or anything.
Mm-hmm. Imagine having a bad day, but also having the power to punch holes in reality if you wanted.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can agree. Action Comics, the good Bendis Superman book. Here's hoping it continues to be.
Yeah.
I really hope we don't get what we got in Bendis's X-Men near the latter days when he couldn't be asked anymore and he just totally forgot which one he was writing and events would just cross over back and forth with no rhyme or reason.
That's what I'm really worried for. Like, he's gonna, like, not yet, but like maybe in like a year, like if he's still on the books, like just be like, fuck it, these two books are the same now.
It happened with X-Men, and again, there was no editor to check him, but you could tell he totally lost track of which book was supposed to be what and what was the identity and mission statement of either book. And it's just like, whatever, I'm just writing X-Men stories. Put them wherever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else did we have this week, Matt?
We had The Punisher, issue 1.
Yes. Matthew Rosenberg continuing. I like they call it Punisher #1, but this is actually like the beginning of his third Punisher volume.
Yeah, but it's a good jumping on point.
It is. Even if you didn't read the War Machine stuff, this is a good place to start. You will appreciate it better if you read the War Machine stuff like I did, because this continues to build the basically mini war that is taking place between Hydra, Baron Zemo, and Frank Castle.
Yeah. Frank decides to ditch the suit, or he kind of had to.
It got taken from him.
Yeah. And return to New York and just like fight criminals, but a higher class of criminals.
Boy is it ever. I like that idea that, he's not in the War Machine suit anymore, but he's made more powerful enemies, and he sees now where it's like, the drug dealer on the street, the human trafficker, the arms dealer, that's all bad and everything, but there's so much bad being done just in the open on the public stage right now by people in suits. Maybe I should go kill those people.
Yeah, and he sets his sights first on Zemo and them trying to steal something. We're not sure what.
Yeah, I assume they were stockpiling weapons, because it's Baron Zemo who is working with Dario Agger, the head of Roxxon, who is a Minotaur if you read the Thor book, because he's a long-standing villain over there.
Yeah.
And they get into bed further with the Mandarin. The Mandarin returns here.
Yeah, and they're doing crime, but they're like trying to do like legitimate crime. You're going to be the face of this organization. Yeah. And
it's very Mission Impossible. They're like, look, what if we can get recognized as a nation by the UN? What if we create a rogue nation, basically?
Yeah. I thought that was really cool, and yeah, obviously, like, people like Tony Stark know Mandarin is up to something, but don't really know what he'll be up to because Frank decides to kill him.
I mean, we assume killing him. He tried to stop it with his magic, and again, Mandarin's cheated death before, but that sends a hell of a statement. Mandarin talking at the UN. He's like, recognize Bagalia as a nation. Headshot.
Yeah, I like the build up to that with Frank like getting the magic bullet that kills the Mandarin. How he like sneaks into that sneak quote unquote with a tank into that facility, and uses all like their energy weapons to melt the people and all that sort of thing. I thought that was cool. And he killed a guy named Zdarsky.
He surely did. It's funny too. You notice that this Punisher actually looks less like John Bernthal than the one from the War Machine books did.
Yeah.
It's like he was only Bernthal for an arc. Now he's back to being traditional Punisher.
Yeah, just normal New Yorker guy.
Yeah, it's a fun book. I like it.
Yeah, and I like as well that they're not overly showing Frank, like he's not in every panel or anything. Like at the start, like when he attacks that convoy at the where they're unloading the boat, you only see him once like the truck crashes and he like executes that guy on the floor, and you only see like him in shadow and everything, kind of like he was a force of nature or something.
Yeah, they write him like the boogeyman. He's there very, very sparingly, which is good for him.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say about this one? An interesting conversation that started in the comments section for this video. You know, the Punisher is a character where it feels like writers are always in a bit of a battle over should he be relevant and should he take part in what's going on with the superhero community, or should he be off to his own side doing his own thing like Punisher Max and Marvel Knights and everything, just fighting more traditional criminals. I would say this one definitely ends on the better side of like, no, let's actually make him an active participant in the Marvel universe and let's have him fight Hydra.
Yeah, I like that. And it's going to be interesting as well to see, like, because we see like at the end when they release like the footage of the Punisher leaving the crime scene, you see like Nick Fury and Black Widow and all that. It'd be interesting to see like how like heroes react to this. Like, well, he's going after like Hydra and all that. Do we like leave him, or like do we go after him? Like, what do we do?
I mean, they didn't leave him after the War Machine armor incident. I'm sure they're like, wait, I thought he got arrested at the end of that. Yeah, but Black Widow and Winter Soldier broke him out, though.
Maybe that's like Black Widow is there. She's like, oh, come on, Frank.
Yeah, come on. You couldn't wait a week? You couldn't wait till the heat dies down? Because, again, they make it very clear that this happened not long after the whole War Machine incident.
Yeah, probably like a week, maybe a month or so after it.
Which I kind of like this idea, too, of Winter Soldier and Black Widow and more of the, murder-happy, morally ambiguous members of the superhero community kind of supporting Frank from afar.
They got the little bumper stickers, Frank 2020 or something.
That's the thing. Because it's funny, because you stop and think about it, where it's like, well, Black Widow's an assassin. Winter Soldier's definitely an assassin. Hawkeye was a reformed villain who killed people. Why did they enjoy such a cushy place on Avengers teams and in the hearts of Captain America and everyone else, but Frank doesn't? Oh, because Frank doesn't come when he's called. That's why.
Yeah, Frank only goes where he wants to go.
Frank doesn't listen to orders, unlike Natasha and Clint and Bucky and everything.
Which is really strange because like I always liked like when they built up like Frank and Cap's relationship, how like Frank is kind of like a Cap fanboy, like he really respects Cap, and I was thinking like why wouldn't he follow Cap? Like of course he would. I'm guessing like he wouldn't now because of Secret Empire and everything.
There's that, and there's also Frank being the whole, like, I don't think you go far enough, Captain America.
That's true, yeah.
I don't think you go far enough, and then you get the other side of it where Cap is like, oh, I am representative of the country, you're a veteran, oh, did I let you down? Boy, did I let you down. I let your whole generation down, basically. You're a walking psychopath, and it's my fault, and I gave you the tools to kill the way you do.
Yeah.
It's a sad relationship they have. I hope Matthew Rosenberg explores that now that Frank is kind of on a bigger scale. I would love to see a crossover between Rosenberg's Punisher and Ta-Nehisi Coates' new Captain America.
Well, yeah, I have to think, because they're telling stories within that same realm, like Hydra and this other Cap and like taking out Hydra and everything. So yeah, they have to at one point.
Oh, yeah. In fact, even this whole idea of Zemo setting up a rogue nation, again, I don't know if you read it, but at the end of the War Machine story, Zemo tried to break Evil Cap out of jail.
Yeah, yeah.
And as they're taking him away, Zemo's like, oh, me and Evil Cap had a big, long conversation about what we're going to do. And, oh, it's going to be amazing. So really, this whole Rogue Nation plan might be Evil Steve's plan.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's very fascinating, I think.
Yeah, it's a damn good book.
Yeah, it's very solid. Again, if you've been looking for a Punisher book, I think this one won't disappoint. Matthew Rosenberg, again, much like Bendis, no street level, knows action, and it's one of the few adult content warning label books at Marvel right now. So if you want a bloody good time, it's a bloody good time as well.
Yeah.
What else did we have, Matt?
We had Avengers issue 6.
Yes, the big conclusion to the Dark Celestial storyline.
Yeah, a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, it went the way that it had to go, and that is that the Avengers learn a very important lesson about not being like the Avengers BC and trying to solve this problem using their minds and not just their muscles.
Yeah, they have to think before they act.
Yeah, as to not end up like Odin with everyone being dead.
Yeah, and Odin being kind of the reason why the Horde is still, was still on Earth and infecting the Earth, whereas since we find out this issue, the final host came to wipe them out. But because Odin was there and, killed them, they couldn't, so they had to sort of, the Horde sort of festered in Earth, and humans were left on Earth to sort of be the cure sort of thing.
Yes, that Earth is a petri dish, or as Robbie keeps saying, we are the vomit of gods.
Yeah.
Which I like that idea that humanity is actually the cure for what plagues the Celestials.
I think that's pretty cool.
It's a nice touch. And again, it's like, hey, weren't the Eternals involved in this story? Yes, in fact, the Avengers do the great Eternal technique of activating the Unimind.
Yeah, they were involved for a second to deliver that one piece of crucial information.
That one piece of crucial information. Basically, the Avengers, they become a Megazord or a Voltron. They all join together.
Yeah, all joined together in a big, giant Ghost Rider Eternal, Celestial.
Yep. And it's really cool.
It is. It was a really cool book.
Yeah, and then the good Celestials help them fight the bad Celestials. And it's just, again, it's just freaking huge. Jason Aaron does a great job making this story feel epic because he opens up talking about who's feeling the effects of this fight. It's like, oh, and in the halls of the Shi'ar Empire, and in the depths of Atlantis, and even in the chambers of heaven and hell itself.
Yeah, I like we got that all spread through the book, like Dracula now knows fear and all this really cool stuff. And yeah, making it feel like a grand scale, something the Avengers book kind of needed, since much like Justice League. It kind of stagnated there for a bit. It was good, with Mark Waid and Mark Del Mundo and all that writing, but it wasn't like what an Avengers book should be, which is these big grand stories and everything. And now they finally hit that with an interesting team makeup as well.
Very interesting team makeup. In fact, even at the end of the story, they didn't have the moment I thought they were going to have, where it's like, oh, so we're a team now, right? We're the new Avengers.
We're the all different but better Legacy Avengers.
Fresh start.
Yeah, TM.
Yeah, ... fresh start. And it had the moment that you knew had to happen too, where everyone's like, hey, we respect you, Robbie Ghost Rider. You may be the youngest of us, but you did good, kid.
You're the youngest, but you're the best of us.
You're the best of us. Robbie was the best of us. Never forget. Does that joke even track anymore? That's 5 years worth of a joke now to the early seasons of Walking Dead and other podcasts. Does that joke track anymore?
I don't think so.
We're making fun of T-Dog, everyone. Very early on in Walking Dead, they say T-Dog was the best of us, but he wasn't. T-Dog stood in the back and never voted on important things.
And then died and acted important.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He was the best of us. I ask myself every day, what would T-Dog do?
I have that
does anyone know...
tattooed on my forehead.
Did anyone ever figure out T-Dog's real name? No, it's better this way. No one ever asked. No. But yeah, so that was some cool shit there. Avengers, they win the day. Was the ending slightly confusing to you with Loki laughing like a madman? Was that just Loki being mischievous, or are they seeking to imply that Loki wanted this to happen?
I think they're implying that Loki wanted this to, like, in the grand scheme of things. I think this was Loki's plan. I'll get these final hosts and Celestials come to Earth, and that'll bring the Avengers back. And now that the Avengers are back, I can use them somehow for something, because they're the best team ever or something.
Which, like, that made me think, I'm like, because obviously Jason Aaron is involved in the bulk of Loki stories right now, with what he's writing in Thor and what he's writing here. And, you know, his morality is hard to pin down because he's a member of Malekith's Dark Council, but he also kind of seems to be undermining that team from the inside out. He begrudgingly helps his brother Thor. He was working with the Dark Celestials here, but the Dark Celestials weren't 100% evil. They were sick. And then here he seems happy about it. And then over in Infinity War, he doesn't really seem to be fighting anyone. He's actually trying to, like, get to the bottom of why he's not a good guy.
Yeah, again, like, I think that somehow, like, all or most of this is tied. Like, it could be tied into, like, the War of Realms. Like, he's getting, like, Earth prepared, maybe, for the War of Realms. So Malekith's forces will be, like, weakened by the Avengers or something, and then it'll leave him to be able to strike against Malekith or something and take over or something.
I'm sure Aaron will explain it somewhere.
Yeah.
I know he's definitely playing the long game with this character.
Definitely, and that's really good as well. I like that. I like what they're doing. They're doing with Loki and all this stuff.
Yeah, so Avengers 6, we enjoyed it. It was a good time. Pick it up and trade if you didn't read it. And I guess from one team book to another, we can talk about Justice League Dark, which was also this week.
Very, very interesting. I know you. Yeah, I know you caught up. You're 2 issues behind, but I saw that you caught up. Did you like the first 2 issues?
Well, here's the funny thing. I was cold on issue 1. I definitely liked issue 2. Issue 2 won me over.
Yeah.
Because issue 2 does some fairly unexpected things. The first thing I really enjoyed is what they do with Swamp Thing, to where they actually show him being kind of old, broken down, and kind of wanting out of the Swamp Thing deal.
Yeah.
Even John Constantine questions, like, is Alec Holland even in there anymore? Was he even in there to begin with?
Yeah. I like John's like role in this team, where he's not really on the team, but he's like, I'll just kind of tag along and see, this seems interesting. What's going on over here?
I'll just show up. Yeah, which is hilarious because people asked James Tynion, I was like, well, how can you do a Justice League Dark team without John Constantine? He's like, don't worry, he's there.
Yo, I'll show you.
He'll be in every issue. He'll be like Batman on Justice League. I'm not an official member. I'm just in more episodes and more stories than anyone.
Yeah, but this issue is really cool because they go to the Tower of Fate.
Yes, because they figure, hey, if magic is in danger in the DC universe, surely Dr. Fate, the biggest, baddest magic Mama Jama, will know about it.
Yeah, and Dr. Fate is kind of like an antagonist in this issue.
Yes, to borrow a wrestling term, Dr. Fate turns heel on the rest of the DC universe. He pulls out a chair and he just hits Wonder Woman in the back. And he's like, oh, I'm part of the other kind world order. It was me. I was the third man.
But yeah, we get kind of a little history on like the Helmet of Fate, which is really cool. Another really cool thing is we also sort of found out what happened to that DCU Dr. Fate.
Yeah,
and he's like trapped in on an urn or something.
Yeah, someone remembered Khalid. Thank you, James Tynion, for remembering Khalid was a thing.
But someone remembered he was a thing. He came in for like a panel or something, and then returned to like that vase cask thing.
That's all I ask. Just remember these characters existed. That's all I ask.
Remember when I was Dr. Fate? Oh, no one read that.
Oh yeah, remember I was Dr. Fate, and Green Arrow was a werewolf, and Batman was a robot, and Wonder Woman was the god of war. Okay, Khalid, you're acting crazy. None of that sounds like it happened. Superman had a buzz cut and rode a motorcycle. Okay, back in the urn with you.
Okay, that didn't happen. Go away.
Stop talking about these things that weren't real and didn't happen.
But yeah, in that little part, like he does like reveal that like Nabu is like the one bringing the other kind to Earth, I guess.
Which makes sense because Nabu was always kind of an asshole, and he
Yeah.
always kind of screwed humanity for his own goals. Because again, he's a Lord of Order. He's so above anyone. He doesn't care who he hurts so long as he maintains order. And his idea is that magic made mankind too chaotic. It's time to give magic back to its original owners, and then we'll have more order, and everyone will be happier.
Yeah. I like Nabu as like a not a villain, but like I guess maybe like an anti-hero where he thinks he's doing the right thing, but it's not like the right thing everyone else sees or something.
He is a morally gray antagonist, is
Yeah.
what he is.
Yeah.
He thinks he's doing the right thing, even though, hey, if you're thrown in with a bunch of horrible monsters, maybe that's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, horrible Eldritch monsters.
Yeah, Eldritch, Lovecraftian horrors. We even get something this issue, too, in the beginning, which I quite appreciated. They were illustrating Wonder Woman's connection to magic while also being sure to drop hints for the big crossover story that comes after this first arc, the Hecatea.
Yeah.
Which, again, more chances for Jason Aaron to flex his horror muscle. It was very like Macbeth, like Wonder Woman stumbles upon an Amazonian witch ritual that she was not supposed to see.
Yeah, and probably scarred her for life because all these
Literally scars her for life.
Eldritch horrors and everything coming out of like a cauldron and whatnot, and then yeah, she gets like branded in the head.
She gets branded with what basically looks like a Balet mark from Berserk. She's got like the thing that Guts has. Now that's a crossover. Guts meets Wonder Woman.
Oh Jesus.
That's a thing right there. That's a friggin' deal. Actually, a lot of the monsters in this look very berserky. And James Tynion, are you a fan? You seem like you might be a fan. But yeah, Justice League Dark 2 definitely won me over. I'm definitely on board to see where this one goes.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah. What else do we have? Ooh, we had Spider-Man this week. Did you read the Spider-Man?
I did read the Amazing Spider-Man issue 4.
Nick Spencer really having some fun at the idea of what if you split the Spider-Man and Peter Parker personalities.
Yeah, well, not just that. What if you gave like all the power, all the responsibility to Peter, but all the power to Spider-Man? Like what happens with that? And the answer is Spider-Man joyrides around New York on Tri-Sentinel and destroys shit.
Yeah, look at my fucking robot. I don't care if I break stuff. Also, too, he has a whole conversation with Aunt May about him being an underachiever and everything and why he's always hard up for money and everything. Meanwhile, Spider-Man is doing endorsement deals and renting himself out as an Uber and making tons of money.
Yeah, it makes him kind of jealous a little bit.
Yeah.
And I like that, like, Peter, even without his powers, he's still trying to help where he can, like helping old people cross the road, getting arrested for paying people's parking, and
which is illegal in New York, we discover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this idea that heroism is just implicit to Peter Parker. It's literally baked into his DNA.
Yeah, I really like that. And yeah, the Spider-Man is being kind of a dick, and kind of, in a way as well, acting like he was like when he was the superior Spider-Man. Like, he's arrogant, he's really full of himself and everything. He's kind of dangerous.
He is. I dig the idea too that Peter is actually annoyed by Spider-Man's constant joking and never taking anything seriously. That being on the other side of that,
now you know how it feels.
Yeah, to have someone just quip and never take you seriously and always change the subject. I like that he finds that annoying.
Yeah.
Also, we find out who was behind the Tri-Sentinel threat, and it's frickin' Mendel Strom, the Robot Master.
Yeah, who's really pissed that he didn't get his chance.
A D-list Spider-Man villain who goes on a whole tear about how he doesn't want to be remembered as a D-list Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, because of that goddamn Norman Osborn.
I trained him. There'd be no goblin without me. Why am I called the Robot Master? I'm a chemist. I should be the Chemist Master. Everything about me is wrong. And Nick Spencer even mentions, like, oh yeah, he used to be called Robot Master. He used to be called Gaunt. He comes back every year darker and edgier.
Yeah, with a darker and edgier name.
Yeah, they even show all his multiple costumes. I'm like, yeah, they have reinvented the Robot Master a ton, and it's never worked. And he's only exists for really deep Spider-Man fan cuts. Oh, also, he's living in a Life Foundation vault with the Life Foundation. That's like some 80s Michelini McFarlane stuff.
Yeah.
So clearly Nick Spencer knows his shit, and he's read a Spider-Man book once or twice. And I appreciate those deep cuts and those calls. And also, Robot Master seems to be hearing the voice of whoever it is who kidnapped Mysterio, basically making a devil's deal with him.
Yeah. It's interesting how they're like this is the first time we've seen or like heard these villains since like what, issue 1? Yeah, so it's a slow build to like revealing who took Mysterio from Hell and who's like working with him, and it kind of makes me think like maybe they're like gonna like recruit all these villains and make like a new Sinister Six or something.
Oh yeah, they have to be going that way, and I am all about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool.
Although in a very Nick Spencer way, he's not picking like the AAA villains.
Yeah.
He's picking the villains who need a pick-me-up themselves, like Mysterio, who was dead for a long time.
Yeah, he's in my mind, he's picking interesting villains.
Yeah, like Robot Master, who again has so many ups and downs as a character. It's a very Nick Spencer thing to do because, of course, this is the guy who did Superior Foes, for crying out loud.
Exactly, yeah. He's kind of superior foeing the Sinister Six and making it like really cool and with interesting characters and everything. Not characters you would suspect.
We keep seeing a bunch of stuff happening in Africa, and I keep saying like, okay, well, when's Kraven going to show up?
See, I kept thinking, I'm like, I'm wondering if that is going to be Kraven or it's going to be someone else.
Right,
like, because he's been doing like Mysterio, Mendelstrom, whoever's. It could be someone completely different.
Could be one of Kraven's kids. I think Kraven would make sense for this team because he's another villain who's really popular but has fallen on hard times and needs new direction.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think, and again, he's like one of the original members of the Six too, so it would make sense.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see like how Peter and Spider-Man sort of merge back together, because as we find out, like the test subjects die after a certain amount of time.
After losing their memory, so we're dealing with a Spider-Man who doesn't remember Uncle Ben, doesn't remember his cornerstone for existing.
Yeah, which is why he's kind of an idiot and kind of a jerk and everything.
Yeah. It's clever. I like it. As someone mentioned in my comment section, it's like, haven't they done this with Hulk a bunch of times? Yes, but Spider-Man fans don't read those Hulk stories. It's all new to them, is what it is. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one. I'm digging it, and I like it. Actually seems like this arc is going to have a solid conclusion, because I wasn't sure how long Spencer was going to do the split-up Spider-Man thing, but there's definitely a ticking clock now to know you need to fix this and right away.
Yeah, I'm glad he gave himself one of them, and it just wasn't something that keep continuing on and on and on. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to see, as well as like the build-up with this maybe possible Sinister Six or whatever this team is going to be of villains.
It's true. They actually did give a very important, I think, piece of information about who this new demonic villain can be. He said a thing that really stuck in my mind. He said when he was talking to the Robot Master, "I know what it's like to live in another man's shadow."
Ooh.
You think he's referring to Mephisto?
Maybe.
My theory is like, okay, this guy has to be related to Mephisto. Maybe he's another villain who's trying to take up in Mephisto's absence. Or here's another thing. Maybe like Darkheart, maybe he's another one of Mephisto's kids, because Mephisto has a lot of kids. Maybe here's another one we just didn't know about.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Like, I'm the third Mephisto kid, the one no one talks about.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see like whether this book references like the whole deal with the
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that as well as like the Doc Ock Spider-Man.
Spider-Geddon, it's not going to. I've looked. The Zdarsky Spider-Man book is going to have tie-ins to Spider-Geddon. This one will not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Which, honestly, I'm fine with that. I'm glad that Amazing Spider-Man will not be interrupted for an event. But, man, it's like Zdarsky and Spencer whipped it out to see whose was bigger and see who wouldn't have to do tie-ins, and we saw who won. Well, then, no tie-ins for me. Zip. Because that's obviously how they decide things in comics, who's going to get a tie-in. You have to come to the publisher's office, whip it out, and then whoever is longer doesn't have to do a tie-in. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
That's how it works. It is an ancient practice passed down by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee from time immemorial. They say they learned it from the guy who used to draw Prince Valiant back in the comic strips. But the true records of these events have been lost to history. We have only the oral tradition that we pass down for these stories. No one has tried to write it down. But yeah, Spider-Man was pretty tight. I had Venom this week too.
Ooh, what was that like?
Ooh, Venom got a bunch of new powers.
Ooh. Oh, I did see like one where he gets like wings.
Yes, they actually have a pretty good reason for that.
Yeah.
So Venom had a run-in with Null, the symbiote god, who was, again, lost to history because he was so evil and everything. Null touched Eddie's symbiote. He touched the Venom suit to try and, like, purge it of the light, but Eddie was able to take it back. Just by touching God and by getting reconnected to the symbiote hive mind, it now remembers a bunch of stuff it used to be able to do but has forgotten in the last like million years.
So he's at that part of like the video game where like you unlock the skill points.
Yes.
And now he's got like they give you like the 5 skill points and he puts them all on the different powers.
Yep. The Venom symbiote has unlocked perks now. That was one. Wings is one. Flight is one. Another one is that, like, Eddie's freaking out. I was like, oh, God, I'm freaking out, man. What are we going to do? And the suit's like, hey, man, I'm reading your brain chemicals. There's a lot of stress hormones. Would you like me to turn those off? I can turn off your pain, too, if you want.
Jeez.
To which Eddie's like, you can do that? And the suit's like, it's all new to me, man. Technically, I could always do it. I'm just now remembering.
It's like, oh, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I can do that. And then they take it to another level because the Venom suit isn't strong enough. He needs to get stronger. So he takes a page out of Piccolo's playbook from DBZ. And that is that Rex, the military dude from Vietnam who's been helping Eddie out, turns out the reason he's so strong and the reason he's been able to survive so long is that his symbiote was part of the Grendel, the thing that Null sent to Earth to kind of like claim it for symbiote kind, but then got beaten by Thor and got scattered into pieces. Yeah. He's the last piece. In fact, Rex isn't even a person anymore. He's completely and utterly fused with his symbiote. And he doesn't think that he can beat Null on his own. But if we combine together, which is another thing symbiotes can do because we're a hive mind, I will get your powers and my new powers, and I'll end up looking more like the original McFarlane drawings with like the monster mouth and the big tongue and everything. And I will unlock a whole new level of power, and Rex will live in my mind and talk to me and give me advice. So it's literally Piccolo fusing with Nail and then fusing with Kami is what it is.
Jeez.
Yes, so that is where we're at in Venom now. He has unlocked a whole new level of perks and abilities.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, this is so 90s. This should be ridiculous, but Donny Cates writes it so sincerely. You have to love it.
That's like his Cosmic Ghost Rider book. Like that is so 90s. All the stuff he's doing in that, but it's like it's written in a way where you're like, yeah, I don't mind this. This usually, if this was written by anyone else, it would be like garbage. But like, it's so good.
He has a real 90s comic sensibility. He does extreme, but without making it dumb.
Yeah, or corny or anything.
Another perfect example of how it's extreme done well, it's like, so Venom gets all these new powers. It's like, oh, but I think we still might not be strong enough to fight the forces of Null. And Rex is like, don't worry. He flips a switch and he has a whole room full of guns. Oh, so now he's got the new powers and he's got the guns. And I'm like, this should be so stupid, but I'm loving every second. I think, too, because he's winking and nudging you as well. It's like, isn't this dumb?
Yeah.
But yeah, Venom is awesome. Venom is becoming one of my favorite Marvel books right now, and I never thought I would say that.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Venom is wonderful, stupid fun. If you're not reading it, you totally should, because it gets awesome. The real hero, though, is Ryan Stegman's art, because he's drawing all these cool suits and all these upgrades and all these weapons, and everything's very creepy and gothic. The book wouldn't work if it wasn't for his art.
Oh, that's good.
The man was born to draw symbiotes. Also, notice how I go back and forth. Someone got mad at me in the comments for this. I say symbiote, yacht, like I really stress the yacht part.
Yeah.
But I also sometimes go back and say symbiote. What do you say?
Symbiote.
Symbiote. Okay, see, you're probably saying it how it should be pronounced. How did they pronounce it in the trailer for the movie that pissed everyone off? I think they said it like I say it.
I think they say like symbiote.
symbiote. Tomato. It's not real. Clintar. Let's just call them Clintars, which is also a silly word. Clintar. I imagine anyone who says that sounds like that. But that's okay, because Donny Cates actually wrote a cool reason for what Clintar even means.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Clintar means cage. The planet of the symbiotes was meant to hold all the symbiote god in. That's why it's called that. But yeah, so Venom was sweet, and that's basically everything I read this week. Did you read anything that I didn't?
I got one more book, and that's The Flash, issue 53.
Oh, yes. How is the Flash? What's he been doing?
Pretty cool. He's been fighting a Strength Force imbued Trickster.
That's right. You told me that Trickster got all buff.
Yeah, and as well as in this issue, we kind of got like a little bit of backstory on Commander Cold, and we see him as just like a normal like 25th century Central City police officer who rushes into a hostage situation where the elongated maniac has killed all these hostages, and he wants to kill the elongated maniac for that, and that reason, because he wants to punish criminals and everything, is the reason why he becomes Commander Cold, because he can separate his emotions and do what needs to be done and everything.
So he's emotionally cold. Also, that's slick that in this future where bad guys are heroes, obviously heroes would be bad guys.
Yeah. But yeah, the Flash and him kind of fight the Trickster, and Flash learns that vibrating out of the Trickster's hand causes him to become unbalanced with the Strength Force and kind of fall out of frequency with it, so it begins to hurt him. And Trickster wants help, wants Flash's help, so they end up going to Iron Heights, where they have facilities that will be able to hold the Trickster as he is in that form. And Captain Cold runs his tests and everything, and then the Flash ends up becoming infected with the Strength Force and grows into a huge hulking Flash. And then Warden Wolf is like panicking and kill them both, and then Commander Cold.
I'm secretly evil.
Yeah, Commander Cold is sick of doing it Flash's way and wants to kill them both as well. And we also got more from like Iris, because Iris is like kind of remembering her pre-Flashpoint past, but also her current memory. So they're sort of like merging, and she's kind of remembering herself as Iris Allen, not Iris West. And like it's kind of confusing her and everything, and she's trying to figure out what exactly these forces are, because by her memory she seems to remember what they are, because she's had some run-in with them or something in her memory, but she can't put her finger on it quite right yet. So yeah, lots of really cool stuff happening, and I'm interested to see like whether they keep explaining these forces and they roll into, I think they're rolling into something called the Force Quest, which will be like a big sort of event for the book and everything. And again, like the Flash is having all these events that are pertinent to like Justice League and Metal and all that, and no one gives a shit about it. Not like DC aren't like advertising them or anything. No. These are important books.
I wouldn't know about any of this stuff if you didn't tell me. And literally, you are making me want to read Flash. I think they should hire you for marketing, because you're doing more to make me want to pick up this book than anything else.
Yeah, they're not marketing it right. It's a really damn good book. Joshua Williamson has been writing it for about 53 issues. I think he had like 1 or 2 off. But yeah, it's all consistent with what he's been writing.
And I love his work. I love Nailbiter. Yeah. I love that Suicide Squad Justice League thing he wrote. He should write more events. The dude clearly has big ideas.
Oh, yeah. And they're letting him do it as well.
Yeah, they kind of seem to let him just be writing Flash unmolested, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that everything for the week, Matt?
That is everything.
All right, so that's the show, everyone. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, do all that social media jazz. Certainly helps us out. If you're a patron, you're going to get to listen to this show first before anyone else. We usually try and upload this one Sunday night as soon as we're done, or well, we try to. You know, sometimes I record the show wrong and Matt records it right, and I have to wait to get an audio version of him. But not this week. We tested the mics before we started, so I know the words I'm saying will travel here. Also, if you want to download the show, carry it around with you wherever you go, we are sure to put it up on SoundCloud and also iTunes on Thursday, so you can get those days if you are so interested.
Yep, and go vote for us on iTunes and like rate us and everything, so we get a bit higher up in the list of searches and everything.
Yes, that's a thing now. I never thought of that, but yeah, iTunes is kind of a contest, isn't it, where you can actually be like top for arts and entertainment or whatever. I don't think we will be top for arts and entertainment, but hey. No, but let's try and beat some other comic podcasts, why don't we? Let's try and lord over some of them, why don't we? I'd be okay with that, knowing I'm better than somebody. I'd like that just once in my life. Just step over someone. Kneel, peasant, don't look me in the eye.
You normie.
Yeah, normie, don't look me in the fucking eye. You will refer to me as Mr. Daly.
God King Daly.
God, yeah, there you go. God King Daly on my throne. And you must genuflect, not look me in the eye, but you must also genuflect when you are near those of lesser podcasts. For that is what I am deserved in. For I have been christened from on high to deliver you.
Oh, God.
It is the ruling right of podcast kings. I'm trying to think what other dickish behavior I could do. And only bring me green M&Ms. So help me God, if there is a brown M&M in there, you will be whipped and then whipped again. God damn it. But yes, everyone. So thank you so much for watching and listening. Real nice. Hey, if you're going to be in the Philadelphia area, September 14th to 16th, come out and find me because I'm going to be there now.
Awesome.
I didn't think I was going to be there, but I'm going to be there now. I've never been to Philadelphia before. I don't know what I should do there. Apparently lots of American history. See the Liberty Bell? They love that Liberty Bell.
Yeah, go see that Liberty Bell. Steal the Declaration of Independence.
Just one time.
Follow the National Treasure.
Yeah, I don't think that's there. I think that's in the Smithsonian.
I know, but like they go there in the movie to go to the Declaration and
because there's a clue,
follow the Nick Cage. Follow Nick Cage.
Must follow the Nick Cage.
He hangs around there like, do you remember? Do you remember? Handing out bootlegs of the film.
He sells them out of his trunk.
He's got to make money somehow.
All right, I got to make money. So I got a really expensive comic book habit and like 4XYs. What would you do? You'd sell bootleg copies of National Treasure at National Monuments is what you would do. I could climb up the stairs and I could punch the Rocky statue in the face. That's what people do, right? They run up the stairs and punch Rocky.
Probably.
I was looking at hotels. Apparently you can stay at Benjamin Franklin's house. It's really expensive and nowhere near the convention center, but you can.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Knowing me, though, I'd probably get kicked out the first night because I'd be tearing up floorboards trying to find the secret Hellfire sex room. Where's the secret sex room? I know it's here.
I was told it would be here.
I know what he was into. I played the Assassin's Creed games. Where's the secret sex room? Then you'd see the article there. Pudgy comic critic was asked to leave the Franklin estate. Stupid Canadian, we all know that the secret sex room was next door. Everyone who works there knows that. Dummy. But yes, on that note, everyone, we'll bring the show to the close. We hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed recording it. We will be back again next week. Same time, same place.
Yeah.
Unless we do a commentary. Again, I keep saying as soon as news dries up, we will do another commentary, but there keeps being news every week.
Yeah, especially with this James Gunn thing happening every other week.
Just keeps evolving and keeps changing. But yes, everyone, thank you for listening, and we'll be back again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.